So we're going to do 5.8, number 4. It says a city plans to purchase a triangular plot of land from a farmer to create a park. They need to determine the area of the land in order to offer a fair purchase price. Land is typically sold by acre, which is about 43,560 square feet. Surveyors have provided the measurements given in the diagram. Use this information to calculate the area of the plot of land in acres. So if you notice here, right, the very first thing that I would try to do is I'm more prone to using law of sines because it's just easier. But walk through this with me. Law of sines says sine C over C. That's not good because that's not going to be my friend, right? My friend is the one who I know the angle and I know the side. I don't know that. And then same with sine A over A, sine B over B. It's because I know none of the angles. So one of your options to do is to draw an auxiliary line off of any of these, dot, 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 perpendicular, and make it a height, right? That's one of your options. So one of your options is to draw the height according to this base right here, or whichever base you want. But remember, we were comparing. There's a lot of work that goes with that. So that's why they generalized and came up with the law of sines. So with that being said, I'm going to use the law of cosines because I can't use the law of sines. And because my iPad is super slow, I drew that a long time ago and it's barely showing up. I'm going to use my Desmos calculator to show you every single line, and then I'll snap a picture and put it here. Okay. So does anybody know which one we should use? Should I use formula 1, 2, or 3? Yes. Someone asked, hey, Ms. Johnson, is the law of sines sine of angle over side? Yes. I'll write it again just so you guys can all see it. Yeah. Someone said any of them. It doesn't matter which one you use, Ms. Johnson. Wait, hey, why doesn't it matter which one I use? It doesn't matter which one I use because I don't have any of the angles, and that's what distinguishes between these three. Very good. So I'm just going to use the first one because that's the one they gave me. And I'm going to go with a squared, which, do you remember which side is a squared? Hopefully you remember that a is across from a, right? Big A likes to look at little a. So we say 720 squared is equal to, now this is the part that doesn't help me because that's one side, and then here's my other side, okay? Is equal to b squared, which is 880 squared, plus c squared, which is 660 squared, minus 2 times b, which is 880, times c, which is 660, times the cosine of a, which we don't know what it is, okay? So I need to simplify all this, and I shouldn't have done this. Let me cut this out of here and put this right here. I'm going to cut this out of here. Okay. Negative 2 times 880 times 660. Okay, good. So I have this equation, right? Let me write that down. I thought I would be able to use this, but I'm not. So we got 518,400 is equal to 121,000. Lots of zeros. Keep track of your zeros. Minus 1161600 cosine of a. And this is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. All right. So you should be comfortable with solving this whole thing. Subtract this guy off, right? So I'm going to subtract that guy off. So this guy gets minus 121,000. So now I get negative 691,600 equals to negative 1161600 cosine A. Everybody follow me? Everybody okay with this? Yes, I'll show that as well. Very good. Very good. Okay, so far, everybody with me at negative 691,000 equals to negative 1 million, all that cosine A? Then you would do what? What would you do right here? What would you do next? Yeah, this is all solving. Once you get this into here, this is just simplifying. Once you get this into here, once you plug into here, you're no longer in integrated 3. I've pushed you down to integrated 2 because this is just solving an equation with cosine in it. Right. So divide out. Very good. So we divide by negative 1161600, negative 1161600. So then I get what? So let's put this in parentheses so I can divide by 1161600. Oops, I forgot the negative. Let me put that negative out in front. This is not catching up to me at all. So then I get this is equal to cosine of A. How do you get it out of cosine? How do you get A out of cosine again? How do I get A out of cosine? This is something that you should know. This is something that you should know. How do I get it out of cosine? The same person tells me this every single time, right? So that person has clearly told me, Ms. Johnson, I got this, no problem. The rest of you, are you comfortable with using the inverse to get this out? Yes? So again, I'm just going to throw parentheses out here and put cosine inverse. To plug cosine inverse, you just go cosine shift 6 negative 1. It's almost like you're using negative 1 as an exponent. So I get this guy, but someone reminded me what? What should someone remind me right now? Miss Johnson, don't forget what? Don't forget to what? What should you not forget to do what? Yeah, because does this angle right here, does angle A look like 0.93 degrees? No, it does not. Very good. Someone says, hey, Ms. Johnson, don't forget to switch it. Boom, it's 53.46 degrees. 53.46 degrees. So someone's probably sitting in here like, oh, Ms. Johnson, are you really going to make me do that 2 more times? The answer is, I mean, if you want to practice cosine C, you can. But your complaint earlier about not being able to use sine, the law of sines, was what? You didn't have a what? Yeah, now you have an angle. So now go and jump towards law of sines and you're good. Okay, so I'm going to scooch this way so that you can see my law of sines work over here. This is where I'm going to put it. So my law of sines work looks like this. I have sine of A over A equals sine of B over B equals sine of C over C. I'm going to take a picture of this. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can move this once it comes in. So here I get sine of 53.46 degrees over A, which is what, 720 feet, equals sine of B over B, which is 880 feet. Right? Okay. Let me see if I could take a picture of this craziness. Can I copy this? I'm going to try to put it in the chat and see if it works. Dun, 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 dun. Look at me. Look, I put it in the chat, y'all. All right. So I put that in the chat for you. So now you have the 2 laws at your fingertips without even having to, no, because now you'd have to scroll through that whole thing. Hopefully it's on a Post-it somewhere. Then you're going to solve this thing, which shouldn't be too bad. So I get 880 sine 53.46 degrees over 720 feet equals to sine of B. And then you guys should all know Miss Johnson is going to ask, how do you get, ooh, look at this. What did I do to this thing, guys? Uh-oh, did I do something funny? Oh no. I did something. I hit something on there. What did I hit? I hit something. Oh, I put Braille method. Oh, look it. That's Braille mode, y'all. Okay, sorry. I was amazed because I was like, what did I just push? All right. So then let me plug this in. Sine of 53.46. And I got to go divided by, is that how you want it to look? Do you want divided by the whole thing? You say yes. Is 720. And then I say, hey, how do you get, I know. I think it's, I don't actually know. Don't ask me. I don't know these things. How do you get B out of sine? How do I get B out of sine? How do I get B out of sine? Someone says, sine inverse, Miss Johnson. Very good. Sine to the negative first is what you would type in there. So my final answer is 79.11 degrees. I don't know. 79. Who is that? That's B. 79.11 degrees. How would, oh my gosh, Miss Johnson, do you want me to do all that work for C? Everyone says no. Just subtract it from 180 because we know the idea that in a triangle, it adds up to 180, right? So I hit this and I say 180 minus 53.46 minus 79.11. So 47.43. Take a step back. Decide if you like these answers. Decide if you like these answers. If you were Miss Johnson, would you be convinced that angle A has to be 53.46? Here's my little hint. Look at my cursor. B has to be 79.11. It actually says it, but for some reason, the computer is slow. It's very slow. I will fast forward. Oh, it goes. And then C is 47.7. Are you convinced that this is true? So one way I convince myself is smallest angle has to look at the smallest side. The largest angle here, 79.11, is looking at the largest side. So yeah, I'm convinced that this is true. So moral of the story here, when you're using the law of cosines, you're technically going to bring in the law of sines and a couple other things to complete your work. You don't only just use the law of cosines, right? The moment that you plug in here, this is no longer an integrated 3 problem. I've now pushed you back to integrated 2, right? Because integrated 2 showed you how to solve an equation, how to get A out of cosine. Right? Same thing goes here. The moment that you plug into the law of sines, now technically, I've pushed you all the way back to integrated 2. If you understood it, then you would even be pushed back all the way to like 7th grade because this is just a proportion. So in reality, the only first step that I taught you, the new thing, was using the actual formula. I have to stop talking because you need enough time for your test. So let me stop.